Okay, so thank you. So we now come on to 23, 24, 60 co-option of candidates. So we've heard from all three candidates. So we'll take, we've got two wards effectively to vote for. We'll take each one in turn. I don't think it really matters which is first. I think anybody's welcome to stand in any ward. So we've got Crownest and Gilstead for the vacancies.
Gilstead and Priesthorpe.
Priesthorpe's got two councillors.
Oh, Crownest.
Can I make a point? I don't think it's a standing order point, but one candidate has expressed a preference for Priesthorpe and the other two haven't.
Yeah,
So
Priesthorpe does not have a vacancy.
Oh,
That was on the,
well, that was on the do vote.
yeah.
Priesthorpe does not have.
So-
I do believe Councillor Fenton and Councillor Dintle are councillors for Priesthorpe.
It's Gilstead and Crownest.
Crownest and Gilstead.
Right.
Why did we? Okay, all right. Then that's irrelevant then.
Yeah, I don't think it. We'll go in alphabetical order, it doesn't matter. Position one. Can I ask the proposers and seconders about a candidate for that position?
Which one we're going for?
Does it matter?
No.
Position one.
Position. I'll propose Mr. Shaw. I'll second that.
Okay, that's Mr. Shaw. Any more?
I'll propose Mr. Forrest.
Okay. I'll second Mr. Forrest.
I propose Mrs. Williams.
I'll second it. You second it, okay.
Okay, so that's all three candidates. So votes for Mr. Forrest. Four. Votes for Mr. Shaw.
Five.
2, 3, 5.
That's fine.
Did I get that wrong?
Yes.
Hang on, Mr. Forrest will do it again.
Don't do Mr. Forrest.
Yeah, Camden and White. Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Forrest again.
Oh,
Your hand was up, Cluffy.
No.
No? Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I didn't count myself. 5. Votes for Mr. Shaw. 4.
You can't only vote.
You can only
You can only vote once. You can only vote once.
You can only vote once, yeah. So votes for, so that was 4.
Yeah.
Votes for Mrs. Williams. Has anybody got?
so we voted for
For
Mrs.
Williams.
Williams. All right. Well, if we vote, you can only vote once.
You can only vote once.
Oh,
Right.
So we've got 5 and 4, which is an absolute majority.
no.
So Mr. Forrest
So that's
is
for,
elected
that's for Gilstead.
for position 1.
Right,
We
okay.
can argue, we can discuss which ward people represent who we've got. So, Michael, welcome. So we drop you out. So now can I have proposers and seconders for position 2?
Okay.
Councillor Good.
I can't think of it. Mrs. Williams.
Mrs. Williams. I'll second Mrs. Williams.
Mr. Shaw.
Mr. Shaw.
Second.
Okay, so votes for Mrs. Williams.
All right, so we can vote again now, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a completely vote.
1, 2, 3, 4. Votes for Mr. Shaw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mark, welcome, you're elected. I'm sorry, Lynn. Thank you very much for putting the effort and the time in.
Thank you.
You,
Thank you.
you can stay if you wish. For the rest of the meeting. Lynn, is that what happened? Mark, you did say you might have to go.
It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's no compulsion for you to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just my just get married or something. So I've got a few bits to sort out just tonight, so I'm just getting my apologies, if that's all right.
That's absolutely fine.
Can I just get you to sign this? Just one thing.
Easy check.
Yeah.
I need to get my.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can sit on the big table if you so wish.
Yes.
No, no.
Oh, for him you mean, yeah, this is fine.
Okay, so we will now move on to 23, 24, 61, confidential items to be discussed in confidence after item 78. Does anybody have anything on the agenda that they think needs to be moved? No? You can take silence as no. 23, 24, 62, public participation. We have no members of the public now, so we'll pass over that. 23, 24, 63, ongoing items to receive information updates on the following issues and agree further actions where necessary. So the first one is the BCB radio request. I think at last month's council, a number of people said they were willing to do it. Dates have flown round, and I think 10th of August at 6:30 is the date to have another initial meeting with BCB Radio to talk about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. With the recording, will then take place at some point in September. For those members that did put themselves forward, I would send round a link to a spreadsheet so we could get availability for September. If I could jog people's memories to fill it in, I think that will help us going forward.
10th of August, was it?
Yeah, 6:30
Is that
at the hub.
We'll be getting
You'll get it.
another reminder, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that'll be at hub, yeah?
Yeah. Then moving on to B, Bingley Pool. I've got no updates. We obviously haven't got Councillor Carney here tonight. I haven't heard anything at all, so I think we'll just move on. Then C, climate emergency. Now, this is a regular item. I'm aware Councillor Williams sent out a significant document. Unfortunately, after the agenda had gone out and within our embargo 3 days, where we can't change the agenda.
But it's on the agenda, Chair.
The motion's not on the agenda.
Well, next month then I can wait.
Well, I suspect we might discuss it later under priorities and whatever anyway. But I think that's what we do, unless you have any.
I've got a speech, but it can wait a month. It's not time.
You've got what? Speech?
Speech? Absolutely.
There'll be a speech on that, sure. Anyway, that happened tonight anyway.
Well, the background to this, Councillor, if I may, through the chair.
Briefly, if you may.
Well, no, the background to it is every month we go climate
I agree,
nothing
I
to
agree.
discuss. And I said last month, as an aside to the chair, can we not get rid of this?
Yeah.
And she said, unfortunately, we can't, because we declared a climate emergency. So I thought I'd undeclare it.
Right, okay,
So,
I understand exactly. What I'm saying is, it's a motion whether to have it on the standing item.
The motion doesn't
I
declare it anyway.
don't think it's necessary to have speeches
Explain
because,
Fine.
because it's just a personal view and
Well,
listening to a speech after we've read five pages which I've read.
8.
But I've read 5 of them.
Good.
Is there,
Well, so anyway,
I'm proposing that we move on
what
tonight.
I'm really saying is we should just have a straight vote on the motion on the day. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
I just want to ask a quick question, because we've got climate emergency actually on the agenda, why can't we discuss it tonight? Is it a legal thing?
Well, we can't discuss the motion because the motion is not on the agenda.
Right, but it's included in his paper.
Yeah, but his paper is sent out after our
Well, because I thought it was on the agenda, so that's a simple cock up.
We can wait.
It can wait.
Yeah.
Well, then we can talk about it when we come on to the later agenda item about council priorities anyway, because effectively if it's not a council priority, then I'm not sure why it would stay on the agenda. So it'll come up there again, I think. So then moving on to the next one, speed indicator devices. Obviously don't have Ashraf, but I was at a meeting that's got carved out of the ward partnership meeting to talk about highways items today. And I think Bradford are, a rethink would be the wrong words, but they're redoing their policy paper on their view of how they would support parish councils with speed indicator devices and what that might mean for buying them, putting them up and then moving them around. And they've effectively put everything on pause for the moment until that paper is approved within Brentford. So a watching brief again, I think, unfortunately.
It's ridiculous when we've been going to pay for them for the last how many years, David?
Yeah.
It took 3 years.
And they did also say that the ones that they had originally recommended to us probably wouldn't be the ones they would recommend to us now.
Okay.
I think we might be going back round that loop, unfortunately. So, sorry. 23, 24, 64, finance to receive and approve the schedule of payments for July. Proposed by Councillor Good, seconded by Councillor Trevor. All in favour? Yeah. Okay. And to agree the bank reconciliations for June.
Yeah.
Proposed by Councillor Good, seconded by Councillor Trevor. All in favour? Okay. 23, 24, 65, election of members to committees and working groups. So elect new members to following committees and working groups for municipal year. So first is the event, marketing and communications.
I'd like to propose Councillor Drucker and Mrs Lynn Williams for the EMAC committee.
Oh, Racy.
I've just asked her.
Oh, did you?
No, I've just asked her. She said she...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you're proposing
Seconded, if you've just asked her.
as a lay member
Absolutely. Lynn's obviously a lay member, of course.
and as Councillor Drucker.
Absolutely, last Sunday, yeah. Yeah. She was impressed with it. She was impressed with the bank conscience. She said she liked this, she'd come again. And I said, why don't you come on the EMAC committee? She said, I'll do that. So I've roped her in.
Okay.
Because I think it's really important that we look forward. So I'm proposing those two.
Seconded both.
All in favour?
Okay.
Good.
I put myself forward for that one.
Yeah, you may.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spare council.
You
Excellent.
can propose yourself, I'll second you.
Yeah,
All in
absolutely.
favour? Yeah.
I'll third that.
And then the next one is the neighbourhood plan working group. If anybody would want to join. Don't feel obliged to.
Can I propose Mrs Williams as a lay member, please?
Yeah.
You
I'll
know.
second that. What's your first name?
You better check with the first before you vote.
What's your first
You won't thank me for that, but there you go.
Michael's interested in the
Okay,
plan.
yeah. It's proposing you've seconded, okay, fine.
Yeah, excellent.
Lovely, great.
Excellent.
We will move on then. 23, 24, 66, to receive an update and recommendations from the Events, Marketing and Communications Committee. I don't think the minutes this came out in the pack, but they have been circulated separately to them. I mean, effectively, I think there's 3 things we've looked at, which is the 2 events that's documented on the agenda. We're also talking about a D-Day event for next year, 2024. Effectively, the first one on here, the second bullet, first in terms of dates, the Bingley Town Council networking event we're going to put on to bring people together to try and get them to work together, network and engender what can people collectively do to make Bingley a better place and to do things. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so I think some members of EMAC will attend. If other people wish to volunteer to attend, then please do so. And the second one, the Bingley Business Expo, I think they had one of these back in, it was probably 2019, wasn't it? 2018, 2019, it was a long time ago, wasn't it? And we're going to have...
Steve, I think you went there, didn't you?
So what?
That expo thing.
No.
Oh, I thought how were you? Okay.
No.
So it's all about trying to encourage businesses to come to Bingley in the Arts Centre on September. So again, looking for people
I could go.
to man a stall with appropriate materials.
I think we're powerless to sway. I think we're powerless as a council to sway. It's all to do with business rates and things like that. But all the candidates nailed it that we need to do something about the high street. But
I think we can be there and say that,
Yeah.
and say we're supportive of improving the high street and things like that. And so if people are available on that day and want to volunteer to be on the stand, please put your names forward. Does anyone want to do it tonight?
Yeah, no. What's it? 27th? What, 27th?
Wednesday 27th it is, yeah. It's
Yeah.
9:30 to 4.
What day?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Oh, so we do afternoon.
So I think that's it for Events and Marketing Committee, unless anyone's got any questions based on the minutes. No? Okay, 23, 24, 67, Finance and General Purposes Committee. Obviously our Chair of Finance and General Purposes isn't there tonight, so you've got me again. We've had the minutes. I think the highlights are the allotments inspections have been done, and the first forum with the volunteers is this Thursday. The business case process is being revised by Councillor Williams. We'll go back to F&GP before it comes back here. The website work at the moment, Councillor Williams and myself have sort of worked with staff on this. So from what we've heard tonight, I think we might want to pick some brains from Councillor Forrest as to what we can do to improve our website.
Yeah, just to explain that we're looking to rejig the website for the Town Council at this stage.
Happy to help.
Good. And then effectively, we've requested a re-quote for the electrification of the bandstand because the previous quote had expired. I haven't seen anything in terms of SRI or whatever come from Bradford yet either. We're looking at work that needs doing on the hub, and we approved a new laptop for a member of staff because their old one had completely destroyed itself, unfortunately. So, any questions on F&GP?
Move.
Okay. 23, 24, 68, the Planning Committee, Councillor Clark.
Yes, Chair. Well, rather longer meeting than normal, mainly because of the first item. There was quite a strong feeling in the committee at the development of these 19 dwellings, and as you see, we brought against it, we went quite long and intensive discussion about this. And I think all of us, let's say all of us, felt quite strongly about this. And we hope it doesn't go ahead, but there again, it's about the planning. But apart from that one issue, that's everything else was straightforward, the chair.
Where are those houses? I haven't seen that.
It's the first item.
No, I said I haven't seen them. Where are the houses?
Coolgardie Farm.
Opposite Biggles Grammar School.
A lot of high
Where Jack...
Yes,
the
you've
bungalow
got-
in Midfield.
A lot of concern about highways issues.
Oh, right.
That's all.
So, any more questions for Howard?
I have one, Howard, related to that Coolgardie. I wasn't at the meeting, but is there a typo in the minutes where it says street scene? The local vernacular does not include red brick housing. All housing should be completed in bus stone effect with waste slate roofing. That seems to be contradicting in terms.
No, the builders had put in that the vernacular was both red brick and grey slate.
So you're pointing out there.
No grey slate.
Okay, oh, okay.
No,
that's good.
not
Okay.
grey
Yeah,
slate,
just
no
the way
red
it's
brick.
worded there.
Yeah.
It's not our local vernacular, it's theirs. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so 23, 24, 69, staffing committee.
In the absence of the chair, we had our first staffing committee, and Jeff Winard was elected as chair of the staffing committee, and I was elected as vice chair of the staffing committee. We approved the long working policy. The increase on admin hours is mainly for allotment issues. He's going to be focusing more and more on the allotment issues. That's an extra 5 hours a week, which he feels will be enough. And after some discussion, it was decided to keep the office hours to remain the same, i.e. open Monday and Wednesday 10 till 12. And that was really it. Yeah.
Any questions on staffing? No? Okay.
I should have.
23, 24, 70, green and clean. Consider any updates on green and clean?
Just that this have circulated a venue for the next community little bit for the 12th of August, and then there'll be one to follow on the 30th of September, and then one prior to the remembrance service. Plants and stuff looking good. We've ordered the plants for the next lot of bedding, which is usually come in November. I think that I assume that the brackets that we were mentioning these in FMGP are in the last green and clean report have been fitted now to glass flats. I haven't spoken to Carol on that. And I think that covers most things, unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions?
If anybody has any drop spots, as usual, let John know, because in general, I think we, Bingley and Bradford, pretty much on top of the job, looking at other areas in Bradford. We're pretty good.
Sorry, I have to the chair, can I ask you, John, I don't know if you can answer this. You know, on the parade about bins,
Pardon?
you know that on the parade there are bins which are the responsibility of the council to have.
Some are.
Because they get full and then
Yeah, there's one by the, we can't cut them now, yeah?
yeah.
Bradford Council empty the official bins. There is one outside what used to be Wadges.
Yeah.
That belongs to the shop.
Right.
That sometimes gets full. I saw them the other day. It seems to be our simple work is to come with a wagon with two operators. One goes and empties the bins and the other does a bit of general litter picking round and about. So it could be, yeah. But there again, if any get full, we need to report to Bradford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, thank you for that.
Okay, but just on that, just because it's sparked something, I don't know if I said it here or if I said it at F&GP. We've talked in the past about Canal and Rivers Trust
Yeah.
pulling their bins off the towpath. Bradford have made a proposal to adopt 8 of them that are in our area, so it's the main ones. I think it's Dowie Gap, 3 Rise, 5 Rise, and then the one up by Canal Road in our area. So that there's some more down in Shipley that obviously aren't appropriate. So I think that would be positive if that comes on.
Is that the ones that easy access to the road for the council wetlands?
Well, 3 Rise isn't.
No, that's what I was thinking.
No, it's a bit of a drag there.
3 Rise is the difficult one, but the rest's the. So moving on, 23, 24, 71, 5 Rise waymarking. So in today's highways meeting, Craig Williams has confirmed that the signage is with the sign shop. The brown signs, the signage work is with the sign shop. Doesn't have a date when it will come back out of the sign shop and get moved around and put up, but he's confirmed that it definitely is in their queue to be done. I haven't had any further update with Canal and Rivers Trust themselves. The lady I was dealing with is now off on maternity leave and has handed over to someone else who was off on holiday, so I will chase them up. Any questions on that? No? Okay. 23, 24, 72, annual report 22, 23, to approve the annual report for printing and delivery. I've said that I think we need to make one minor change to it, which is just around the words of the budget provision for the SIDS, because it says we've got provision, and in fact we've carried forward from last year the provision to buy them, because we thought we were going to buy them, but we haven't bought them yet. So we just need a bit of clarity in that in the text, but other than that, I think it looks good to go. I don't know what anyone else thinks. Any comments, queries, questions on the annual report?
I thought it was great, especially the front photograph.
Yeah, I thought you would.
No, it reads well. I couldn't spot a typo. I would ask a question though, Chair. Are we absolutely sure the figures are right this year? Because last year we had egg on our face.
Figures
Are we
checked,
treble checked
and
and
double checked.
are we good? Yeah. Okay.
So can I propose, subject to those minor alterations that we approve,
You can.
and send it for printing? And I
And
think we've agreed on the distribution as well, haven't we? Or can I propose that at the same time? F&GP.
With F&GP.
F&GP agreed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that my proposal.
I'll second it. All in favour? Yeah, annual report to get distributed. So then, 23, 24, 73, the town clerk's report. Are there any comments, queries on the town clerk's report? No? Okay. 23, 24, 74, correspondence, to consider correspondence and agree any actions. So the first was the email from Councillor Fricker about the £50,000 funding application for renovation of the bandstand. Councillor Heselton.
Yeah, quite interesting to read the potential proposal, but what I fail to see in that, bear in mind it's amplified music, no knowledge of how many events, what time of the events, volume limits permitted. There doesn't seem to be any consultation with neighbours to that area, i.e. the 3 big blocks of flats and the terrace houses. There doesn't seem to be any reference that, you know, we've talked about the potential impact of amplified music at whatever times a day now, however many times a week, a year. There just doesn't seem to be anything within that, and I would have thought that would be paramount within the bid to put that on.
don't know, I think it was put together quite quickly to meet the funding deadline, as with a lot of things that come out, unfortunately, but
Well, I've got two observations on what Councillor Heseltine just said. It's a bandstand, so it has music on it, has done for years, 100 years or so, I guess. We're putting electrification in it, so presumably any consultation on loud music is down to us, not Bradford, because we're putting electrification there. Because a brass band is going to have a lot less volume than an amplified brass band. So, yeah, don't know.
That is what's missing within the bid, who's managing it,
Yeah.
who's organising it, who's overseeing it.
We might have a finger in that pie and muddy the water.
I think for now it's gone in, we just need to see whether it's successful or not, really, don't we?
It appears to me that this is about an application to refurbish bandstand,
It is.
not to put on future concerts at the
Yeah,
bandstand.
they're all subject
I
to
think
separate
once
agreement.
more, I hate this, but it's once again, it's minor, trivial points that are being brought up to undermine an excellent project.
I think amplified music and the issues we've had with the 3-day music festival that was to take place, I think the residents in the immediate vicinity do need consulting, where their peace and quiet and enjoyment of their own home and back garden might be disturbed by very regular and very loud music. There's no indication in here who's managing it, who's overall control of it, what measures are going to be put in place. It's not nitpicking, it's when all your constituents start ringing you up, what's this ding?
Well, I think again, as it's not us that's put that in, we just note it at this point, and when it comes back, we can pick that up, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's much else we can progress tonight. Does anyone has any views? No? Okay. We'll move on to the email from the resident re concerns about the traffic need for a crossing at Elwick Primary School. Is this in the last one the same?
Yes, you said one of
Oh, yeah, it is,
Yeah. So again, I have queried that with Highways today, and the road immediately going to the primary school is a private and adopted road, so obviously they will not put a crossing on it. They did give a design to the school a while ago.
What's unadopted?
Barnaby Road.
Barnaby Road.
The little side road.
Oh, well, that's not what they're on about, is it?
They're on about Warren Lane, aren't they, I guess?
Yeah, it's where I thought with the main road because they've done away with the lollipop ladies.
They're trying to
But that's-
recruit a new
but
one.
they have recruited a new one who will be there from September,
Have they?
apparently. So
I
it
think
may,
that's the issue. We're looking
this
at
may,
Barnaby Road.
this may go away when
No
they are
traffic.
in post, but they have apparently recruited.
Well, no, it goes down, isn't it? How it goes down, well, fine, at bottom.
So we can pass that information back, I suppose, that we believe the lollipop person will be back in place. Then C, the email from the Professor of Transport Geography about the Bradford train tram proposal. Other than noted, is there anything that anybody?
We did offer to give a presentation, didn't we?
I think he did, but
Are we interested in the presentation?
It's always interesting to see what developments people are looking at. isn't it?
I think so.
I'd be interested to hear it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll put in that case as a little...
This isn't the train tram thing, is it, you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's a...
Oh, you put the two things together, that's not what the agenda point says. The agenda point says the train ticket office consultation.
No,
No, we're not got there yet,
Same.
the previous one.
We're on C. Oh,
Yeah.
I definitely, sorry, I've done a bit with
There seems to be some interest, so
I would be interested.
Oh, very much
I'm
interested.
happy to propose that we invite this guy if he wants to come.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we'll invite him to come to a council meeting. Then moving on to D then, the closure of Bingley train station, ticket office and the consultation. If anybody on YouTube watches this before the end date, do we know?
The end date is this Friday, and if anybody would like to submit any points, if they get in touch with Sarah Harmon, she's going to put in a joint proposal or response from England.
Should be the town council not put an objection to it?
I think we should.
Yeah, I mean, I've signed the ticket in the ticket office, objecting to it as a person, as an individual rail traveller.
Well,
She's sorry, then. She just. I was
going, I'm getting pointed at there and you're going down.
Hang on, let him speak.
No, I was just going to say what she said before we say it. She's actually sent us an email today saying if anybody has any sort of bullet points that they'd like to add.
You sent who an email?
Pardon?
You sent who an email?
Sent me because I'm an Action Stations
Oh, right, okay.
member. So if there's any points, sorry, David.
No problem. I think there is an issue for Bingley. All the three candidates mentioned attracting people to Bingley. Not everybody has a fancy phone.
No.
Quite a lot of time the ticket machine doesn't work.
Right, okay.
And when you get off in Leeds, you are then fined for not having a ticket. Because Bingley and Cross Flats are penalty fare stations. You need your ticket before you get on the train. So there are issues about that. There's also issues, in my view, because it's a bit of a difficult station to navigate yourself round with the stairs that don't always work. There's a safety issue. Time after time, when we were on site a lot more nearby property, time after time, younger people, shall we say, causing mischief, mayhem and whatever in the waiting rooms and down the platforms, reducing the presence of people there
Putting people off the road,
is not conducive to people actually using that station. And in our role, encouraging them to come to Bingley and come back again if they've had difficulties. Argumentatively saying 10 to 12% of people only use a ticket office, but a lot of people partner it online, and I was witness the other day where they managed to get a part journey, but they then still needed a human being to talk to at the station to actually complete the correct booking and all the way through. So to me it's counterproductive, and maybe the town council wants to put something together along those lines. To submit that, we would actually prefer to remain open to service an element of the public that cannot be served electronically.
Just our neighbourhood plan proves that we've got, elements of the neighbourhood plan, the analysis of the age profile proves that Bingley has an ageing population. The population is skewed towards the top end, therefore I endorse everything Councillor Tom just said.
So effectively, we want to put together an objection and submit it. Yeah.
Didn't Keithley successfully object and get theirs stopped?
Don't know.
Still in consultation.
Yeah, this whole thing is in consultation.
It's all Northern Rail, I think.
I think it's fair to say that there won't be any facilities in Leeds before very long as well, so you don't get your ticket Bingley, you get to Leeds, you're going to face the same problem.
Leeds is staying open, isn't it?
Well, I know staff that
There's about five locations staying open.
No, I know staff that work there, I know what they're talking about. Whatever you hear, is that always true?
Okay, yep. So everyone in favour of us putting in an objection? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so then 23, 24, 75, council priorities. To discuss council priorities for 23, 24 onwards and agreeing actions. So almost after last month's discussions around where were we going, what we're going to do, there's two elements on this agenda. This one in the public part and then council culture almost in the confidential part. So what do we think our priorities should be for the coming 2-3 years, or even this year? Does anybody have anything that they absolutely think should be on?
Neighbourhood plan. It got to. We're looking like we might go out to A14 in August, September. We've already said in the neighbourhood plan minutes that we're looking to get the consultation done by the end of the civic year. So we then got regulation 15 and the inspection of regulation 16 to do, which will take us up to the end of that civic year, I guess. So that's certainly 2 of the 3 years sorted. And then the final one is to lay back and start planning of how we're going to enact the neighbourhood plan. You know, what many options are we going to choose? What money are we going to set aside? What's the highest priority in the neighbourhood plan for us to deliver what we've just agreed with the population that we're going to do? So I think neighbourhood plan has got to be fairly high, if not the highest.
It was interesting in what Michael said about Riverside Path, which is something that I tried to consult with Bradford Council, must be 3 years ago. And also with the parks, we are making real progress in the parks. I just like a bit more positives on things like that, as opposed to finding, not forget about what's been said tonight, on picking out the negatives and let's do some positive work within the council. That's all I have to say at the moment.
That's waste of time.
Yeah, I think our priorities are about attracting and keeping more people in Bingley to spend a few extra quid.
Yeah.
And we actually need to work with partners out there to improve the offers, you know, when we have specialist markets and the like, that actually gets people coming into Bingley.
Yeah.
We need to work with partners to build that and build the Bingley brand. I think one of the things I get fed back quite a bit is issues with younger elements of our society causing mayhem in the park and some recreation areas. And I think maybe we need to actually try and proactively work with Bradford Youth Service to see what, if anything, we as a town council can do to augment what they are offering, whether it's a Crossbacks Rec, Merton Park, Cottonley Rec, Gilstead, wherever, that actual youth service to try and engage some of the young people and actually find out what they want. And I know off cuff a while ago somebody said it's a bright idea to put up a shelter near the skate park, and then somebody went and asked the kids, do you want a shelter? And the kids said, no thank you very much, we're quite happy as it is, but some improvements to the skate park might be more proactive.
That came back from me from Friends of Merton Park.
Yeah.
That they'd actually gone and consulted and had sensible discussions with them, you know.
So to me, there's that engagement with other partners to see what we can do to encourage Bingley, more things in Bingley, support if it's financial or do it, and actually trying to engage with that younger demographic to actually see what they want within the town to try and divert some of the negativity. And don't get me wrong, there's some great young kids out there, a lot better than some older ones, but we need to ask them what they want to do.
Do you have any ideas on how we might do that? I'm just conscious that when Lewis was here, he was pushing.
I think we need to
youth
try and
council,
work
and it's sort of,
with rapid youth service, I think, to start.
it's died because nobody wanted to lead on it as much as anything.
I did ask that question, and friends in the little park said that they thought that some of these younger people would be happy to come and give their views. I mean, do you want to try and take that forward and get them to come to council meeting and say what they like?
But when I had a different hat on, when we had money to give away and to have grant streams, when we had money to award, shall I say, to youth type facilities, work, etc. We actually had a panel of young kids that viewed the applications and gave their honest and brutal opinions on them, and they start to own stuff and start to do stuff. So I think, for start, I think we need to have a word with Bradford Youth Services and be minded that we want to do a piece of work potentially that actually involves young people in some decision making.
Okay, so do we want to get, I think it's a guy called Manzar from Bradford Youth
The other man's out of Caris, Bolton.
to come to a council meeting
Yeah.
and we can talk about it. Yeah. So, anything else that we think is our priority?
One of the people, the candidates out there were talking, suggested that the last election, everybody thought it was a bit of a poor turnout, and that sort of suggesting that there's no engagement with any of the public really, or any positive engagement for people to sort of like want to either vote or get involved with things. That sometimes can be just communication, that people are not hearing, seeing what's going on.
That's what
That's what EMAC's all about.
The EMAC committees
Trying to achieve that.
we're trying to do this because we find that all the time. You go out there and I'm a community person plotting that. I mean, we're doing the garden and somebody will come up, oh, is this the council that's doing it? So you have to, we realise we have to promote it better. Yeah.
So in terms of, if I try and sum that up, then I've got priorities, obviously, neighbourhood plan, attracting and keeping people in Bingley and building the Bingley brand. I'm not sure we can have that as a priority, but we'll need people to come forward with ideas as to how we can move that forward. And then obviously we've got engage with younger people to see what they want us to improve in Bingley and what we can do for them to make them happy in Bingley. Anything else at this point?
Can we add the SIDS onto that as well?
We can add the SIDS onto that.
I mean,
I'm just not sure, given that we're
is that sounds
beholden
tonight as though it's going to be...
we're beholden to Bradford, but I'm happy to keep them on. Road safety, I think road safety should be one of our priorities in its broadest sense, and that does address that, doesn't it? Anything else? Did I miss anything? No? Okay. So we'll firm that up, and then we'll bring that back to future council meetings so we can keep a watching brief on those priorities. So 23, 24, 76 promotional items to consider, any promotional items from this meeting. Well, we've also got 2 new councillors. What else?
New press gang members and
New members of committees, including lay members. Yeah.
Are we going to be telling them which ward they're representing?
Well, I would make a suggestion, as Councillor Shaw isn't here, let's ask Councillor Forrest which one he wants.
I would think as Council Shaw lives in Gilstead, he probably won't Gilstead.
Looks like you've got a crow nest.
Anything else we want Litter pick on the 12th of August.
Yeah, it's been already circulated anyway.
We could do it again, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll publicise that the annual report is coming, or will it arrive?
It depends how long it takes, doesn't it? It may have done.
Let's just say it's coming.
Yeah.
Let's publicise it, and if it takes a bit longer, people know it's coming.
Can I ask how you publicise this thing?
Yeah.
Good question.
Effectively, we publicise it on the website and the news. We put it in the monthly mailing that goes out to people that sign up to that.
Monthly email?
Yeah.
Do you not have a local free press or something like that?
No. Used to have 5 notice boards around the parish, but including one in Liddell and things like that, where the staff used to go around and pin them all up, and we had local sponsors who pinned them up.
Yeah.
But they never seemed to get off the ground and do anything. So statutory wise, we only need to push it on one notice board, which is the one outside the hub. And so that's what we do now.
But the annual report has been delivered professionally to all the houses.
Yeah, so that's what's pushed out.
Because you won't get that on the agenda, so
It was, yeah.
you need an email with the report, you know. Yeah.
Were there any other promotional items? No? Not happening. Okay, 23, 24, 77, date of the next meeting, which is Tuesday, 29th of August, 6:30 at Elwick Memorial Hall.
But that's the one where the beer festival is in, next door to the beaches, Birches.
Next door to the Birches,
Next
yeah.
door to the Birches.
So it's not the same venue as before,
Not the church.
not the church.
You'll get.
Okay.
Haven't been available that before, has it, Mark?
It's always been available on the fifth week in the month, so there's three.
Right.
Because the way the calendar works,
Yeah.
all the Tuesdays are full,
Right.
but when it comes to the 5th week in any month, it's free.
Right.
That's the way it works. So
Right, yeah. That's what I can understand. I know you've said that.
yeah, it does. It's yeah.
Okay then, 23, 24, 78, exclusion of the press and public to resolve to exclude members of the proposed by council without saying that. Can we stop the recording, please?